The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
As a former New Hampshire state representative who marched with Dr. Martin Luther King in 1963, he currently serves on the New Hampshire Commission for Human Rights. He's a product of Birmingham, Alabama, where at one time he had to guess how many jelly beans were in a fruit jar just to be able to vote.
We've come a long way, but we're not there yet.
Together we will explore the visible laws, invisible laws, and the structures above and beneath our human surface that keep us reaching for the stars. It is his goal to work with you in putting Nashua back on top, to be voted the #1 city in the nation again.
We are in a crisis situation, and that's what we're going to talk about.
I'm Harvey Keye. Welcome to Nashua Strong.
Hello, Nashua. How are you, Nashua? I want you to know you're listening to Nashua television station, Access Nashua, located right in your backyard. About 90,000 people are you, and I'm always pleased to say hello. We're able to speak with you directly now because we made some marvelous changes at the station to handle the pandemic. And the pandemic, you know, is a bug that nobody can identify except they say it's airborne. And before I came here, I want to let you know this, I put a little Vicks rub up my nose, on my temporals, and I ate a little bit. Now that's not scientific, and you can't go to the White House and say, this is what you got to do. But from my early beginning, back in the day when I got sick as a little boy, my mother found that Vicks vapor rub and rubbed my temporals, up my nostrils, and a little bit on my tongue, and boy, did I get well. Now, I'm only suggesting that maybe if you want a second protector, a double protector, do that before you put your mask on. And having done some research in bacteriology and science and what have you, bugs don't like Vicks vapor rub. So I leave that with you. Now, we're coming down to the last few days of this monumental time in the history of this country. And I have said to you before and forever, we don't talk politics. We don't discuss who shot John. We don't discuss ugliness on the station. And I'm not going to do it today, but I have to say to you, if anything you do between now and then, of course, I don't know what your situation is, try to get a vote in, because this vote should be the most important vote in the history of your lives and our lives, in our country's life. And I think from this point of view called Harvey, it is not Paul Harvey. I know you guys, some of you remember that guy called Harvey. I could not vote in Birmingham, Alabama when I was discharged from the Army. And I think I came to New Hampshire and found a way to vote. Please get out to vote. Now, I have the pleasure of having a young man in this studio today that I have been mystified by. I don't know how the hell he does all of what he does, but he does it, and it makes us stronger. And that's that's the foundation of this TV show, Nashua Strong. Nothing but great stuff. What people are doing, performance, making things happen, making the city better, a better place to live in. And I am so happy to have this young man on my show. And I support all that he does, because I don't really know what he does. But it looks pretty, and I don't know who does all of it. So we're going to ask him a few questions. I want to introduce you to Mr. Paul Shea, who is the executive director of America downtown, Nashua. And Paul, I'm just going to say hello, and then I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Where did you come from? Where were you born?
The year was 1984. I was born in Mass, but I actually grew up for the most part in Pelham, right over the river and through the woods. My high school and college years were spent at Bishop Girton and Riviera here in Nashua. And then after college, I moved to Nashua. I came to love the city and wanted to kind of set down roots and invest myself in the community.
How long have you lived in Nashua?
Since 2009, I've lived in Nashua and French Hill. I lived a year before that at Clock Tower Place.
You taught school?
No, lived at Clock Tower Place.
Oh, Clock Tower.
Yep.
And what kind of work did you do when you...
So I actually am a registered nurse. I worked for about 10 years as a nursing assistant and as a medical surgical nurse. About maybe 3 or 4 months into this role, I kept some hours doing that. But I saw this opportunity, and it was more in line with the way that I wanted to kind of spend my working days. And so kind of took the leap from nursing into this, and I've been doing it.
Was there someone doing this before you did it?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Great American Downtown's been around since about 2002. But a lot of our programs predate the establishment of the organization. The Holiday Stroll, the Taste of Downtown, those events and other ones like them were organized by merchants and community leaders. And as all of these great things started to unfold, it was thought that an organization would be good to have to kind of keep these things on track and sustain them over the years. And so in 2002, a lot of community leaders got together, established the organization, and
was it dead?
We've been doing it ever since.
Was the organization dead or dying?
Well, it didn't exist. So in the late 90s, mid 90s, the Holiday Stroll, for example, started, I believe, in 1996. There were a lot of just people doing great things.
Without an organization,
correct.
Just people just coming downtown strolling.
Yeah, and a lot of it was lifted up a great deal by, I believe it was the downtown development director, Alan Minoyan.
Yes.
Worked for the city for some years, and so to ensure that those programs kept going because they were having great success, and the folks in Nashua wanted to see them continue. They started Great American Downtown.
Let me ask you, how in the world did you go from a surgical nurse to planting flowers and trees and decorating poles? Has nothing to do with nursing.
Yeah. So as I said, when I moved to Nashua in 2009, I kind of wanted to set down and invest in the community. In 2010, I believe I saw the job for working for Great American Downtown open up for the first time that I was aware of it. I was very interested in that, but didn't feel like I had the chops. And so I actually went about for the next few years doing different things. So I was involved with City Arts Nashua and the Art Walk. I was involved with establishing the Gate City Community Gardens, which we now have folded under Great American Downtown's wing, and we have a 36-bed community garden on the Heritage Rail Trail, community fundraiser events, and people would see me doing these things and ask me to MC their event that they had coming up. And so just kind of this modge podge of different community initiatives. I don't know if you remember the Visualize Nashua efforts. And so I was tied in with all that stuff and wanted to kind of demonstrate and build my skills in this area.
How does this work with the chamber?
So the Chamber of Commerce, we've been members of the Chamber for some time.
This organization is a member of the chamber.
Oh yes, of course. So the Chamber of Commerce is really an essential kind of organizer in Nashua among the business community, especially on policy issues, but also with networking and helping to build business-to-business relationships. And so we've seen them. The economic and cultural vibrancy of Nashua is very much a part of their objectives, and so we see them as an essential partner. I'm actually on a call once a week with Kate Lizko, the CEO of the Chamber, and Tim Cummings and Comba Lamina from the Economic Development Division at City Hall, just to kind of touch base and see what we're seeing out
Where
there.
do you get your money from?
So our organization is funded, I'd say about 28% comes from City of Nashua annual allocation. About 20% comes from charitable gaming, and then
Charitable gaming,
charitable gaming.
like Boston Billiards,
Yes, so we have 7 days of Boston Billiards.
7 days.
Yep.
What do you do there?
So they host charitable gaming on our behalf.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of table games, card games, poker's pretty big over there. And so we partner with them. We are the beneficiary.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
How do you say partner with them? What does that mean?
That means that we go and connect with them. We get them to commit with us that we're going to have a certain number of dates in the calendar year.
Do you have to do any work?
So we promote it, of course.
Promote it how?
So through our newsletter, we have
Yeah.
a weekly newsletter that goes out to about 5,000 people. We promote it through social media.
Now, 5,000 people don't touch 96,000 people in Nashua.
No, I was actually just talking with my staff about this morning. Our newsletter probably has maybe 7-8% of the population. Our social reach is maybe closer to 11-12% of the population. So we try across channels to get as much of a reach as we can. Of course, we're always looking to connect with people. We have a website that sees about.
Let me ask.
Yeah.
When you partner with Boston Billiards,
Yeah.
do any of your members have to go down and do any work at the table?
Oh, yeah. So we've got to check in once a day, make sure that everything is operating
No, I don't mean
as
that
we would
you check
expect
in and
it
make an
to.
operation. Do you deal cards?
No.
Do you spin a wheel?
No, it's light work.
It's
It's light work on our end, absolutely.
light work, and that work is observation.
Observation, ensuring that we keep the proper records, reporting to the state, filing to actually participate in this. So there's a little bit of it
But
on
they
our
sort
end,
of
but
guide you in what you.
yeah, they do most of the work. So in the state of New Hampshire, charity could host their own gaming days at a facility that, say, they rent, for example. But it makes it a lot easier to do that by working with a partner like Boston Billiards.
Absolutely. How many times have you partnered with them?
This year would be our third year.
Third year, once a year?
Yep, once a year.
year?
Yeah, usually in late spring.
Yeah, and it brings in quite a few.
Yeah,
Is there a percentage that they must donate to you?
I believe it's 35%.
35% of those 7 days?
Yep.
Each day, 35% of what they take in, gross, net?
That's correct. Yeah, that's my
Gross.
understanding anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you happy about that?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
no, it's been great. And to kind of get back to your question in terms of how we're supported, maybe 28 to 30% is the city, about 20% is from charitable gaming, and then the remaining 50% is a combination of small donations and fundraising events, such as the Dinner on Main Street and the Taste of Downtown.
I would think that the merchants downtown are just jumping up and down when you come down the street and say, this is what we want to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because they get to be appealing, attracting different people to come downtown. And, I've often wondered, I was away for a while, but I got back about 8 years ago. How do you get all these figurines up the poles?
So we have our downtown scarecrow contest. Each year we have around 30 to 40 participating businesses and organizations. Usually we have a team of volunteers working in the office. We convert it to the Scarecrow Building Factory for a couple of days. This year it was my wife and I in our driveway doing it. Of course, we can't really gather with a lot of folks for now. And so we build out those scarecrow kits, and then we distribute them. People decorate them, return them to our office, and then with the Park and Recreation Department, our staff, and a volunteer, we go around and we hang them up.
I was at City Hall just recently, and I saw out front a balloon with Brian McCarthy's name on it.
Yes.
Did you do that?
No, so the Brian McCarthy Memorial Foundation,
Yes.
which provides scholarships to students seeking degrees in STEM fields, put that up. They decorated that this year. Now, Brian was a big space and science and engineering enthusiast, and so their scarecrow this year has a big old rocket, and he's sporting a space person's outfit, an astronaut's outfit.
Well, he was a huge, when I first moved here in the 1970s from upstate New York, Brian McCarthy was he knocked on the door and he says, "Welcome to New Hampshire." And of course, he's a much younger man and all that. Brought the welcome wagon to our house.
Nice.
And do you have anything to do with, because to me, I love Nashua. I think you might know that by now.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't moving from Nashua under any circumstance. Well, unless Mayor Duchess tell me to get out. But would it be wonderful to have a welcome wagon for people who move into this city to talk about coming to the TV station, that they could have a program if they wanted to? Or downtown merchants would give samples of what their fare is, and just make it okay to embrace those new people. Would that be something you could do?
Our mission is focused on the downtown, and so we might be able to have some piece in that as part of a broader effort. Of course, there's a lot more to Nashua than the downtown.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget that.
But also,
yeah.
the downtown is the heart of the city.
Oh, absolutely.
If you don't have a downtown, you don't have a city.
Yep.
And if you don't have a newspaper, you don't have a city.
And if you have you have a sad downtown, you have a sad city. And,
Right,
And if you have a
right,
lively
right,
downtown
right.
where people are enjoying themselves, then that's a good reflection on your quality of life. Absolutely.
I'm really amazed at what you do.
Appreciate that.
I'm just over the top, and don't get down there as much as I'd like to because of a lot of reasons. But I'd like to get involved in terms of helping develop parking and stuff like that to be more attractive to shoppers, and help the merchants stay in business. And I think your job downtown, in connection with the Chamber of Commerce, is just doing a marvelous job.
I appreciate that.
So I don't know how to say to you where you go from here. How do you get young people to be involved in the city, to find out what the city does for them, what voting does for them, what respect for the police department does for them? I know you know all of this because you've been around on the ground. A surgical nurse, you got to be there. And our city is such a wonderful city. And I just wonder if maybe, Paul, you could have not a training, I don't know how to say, bring in some young people to see if they would like to help develop. Some people just don't know where to go.
Yeah. I mean, we work to engage people in all demographics. We try and design our programs. Of course, we have, I think, 13, 14 different programs that we host over the course of the year. We try and design them to serve a variety of audiences. Some of them are more more global in terms of demographic, like the holiday stroll. Of course, unfortunately, we won't be able to have the holiday stroll this year. With
What are you going to do?
So we're working on a number of different smaller programs. We are hosting live outdoor music every Saturday afternoon by the bridge. We're not doing a big advertisement around it because we don't want to build a dense crowd, but we do want to contribute to the liveliness of downtown. And so we're adding street music every Saturday through the end of December. We're also in November, we are doing the Nom Nom Kids Cookie Contest. So we're having we're giving kids and their families the
Where
ability
do
to
those kids
submit.
come from?
Nashua. So
Any particular area?
no, kids that live in Nashua can participate in this. And the contest there'll be a judged component. There'll also be online voting, and people will submit recipes. They can learn more about it at downtownnashua.org. But they submit their recipe, picture of their cookie, and then towards the end of November, we'll announce the winners. And the goal is to have the winners' cookies for sale for one weekend at one of the bakeries downtown. And then in the month of December, we're going to be coordinating a holiday lighting tour. And so what we'll do is we'll have both downtown businesses as well as residential displays submit with us where they're located and a picture of their display. And then we'll generate a map and put that up online so that people can drive about and check out those
How do you
those
advertise
places.
that?
So at downtownnashua.org, we of course put it in the newspapers. We also have our weekly newsletter called The Downtowner. So if folks want to sign up for that, they can find the sign up for it right on the homepage of downtownnashua.org. And of course, we're also on social media.
Let me ask you. Now, do you get as many people participated as you want?
So for this year, it's these two things are totally new. So we don't know what we'll see for
What did you
participation.
get before?
Well, we've never done it. So
Okay.
we've never done the cookie contest, and we've never done the lighting display. But if we have some success this year, these are kind of in lieu of the holiday stroll. If we have some success this year, I think that these programs have promise, and we may bring them
What
back
age
next
group
year.
are you looking at?
So for the cookie contest, it's all the way up through high school years, and then for the lighting contest, anyone who has a lighting display as a resident or a downtown business can sign up.
Well, I'm just wondering how to be more efficient. Well, you haven't done it yet, so you can't measure.
Yeah.
But how to attract more shoppers downtown?
Yeah. So we have another program that we're hosting. This is our third year doing it. This is called the Plaid Friday. So I'm sure you're familiar with Black Friday. It's a big box store thing, more geared towards conspicuous consumption, right?
Yeah.
And so the Plaid Friday is the kind of indie alternative where we're looking to drive people to small businesses. We'll have a tote bag giveaway. We usually give away about 400 Plaid Friday tote bags each year. And usually we have about 30 to 35 small businesses participate. They either have a special offering or kind of a fun game or a photo booth in their shop. Of course, everything's different this year, but we think that with what consumers are looking for, a less crowded, more intimate shopping experience, and also ways that they can support small businesses to ensure that they make it out on the other side of the pandemic.
Yeah.
We think that people are going to really enjoy Plaid Friday, which will be the Friday after Thanksgiving. I believe it's November 27th this year.
I'm just wondering again. I think young people are the blood of the future.
Mm-hmm.
They're the future. They're now the present, maybe for me, but I'm not sure. I just want to see how. Are you a 50c3?
Oh yeah, 501c3, absolutely.
501c3.
Yep.
So, the circulation of your newsletter, could it get into the high schools and the elementary schools?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if there's a way for us to get a closer connection with young people, give them the ability to opt in to receive stuff,
You
because
think the superintendent of schools would be going for something like this?
perhaps, yeah.
I think he will,
Okay.
because he said to me on a show here that his whole interest was about kids. And of course, kids growing up, and the kids start here, and they got to go up. They get the little polish, and they become better able to handle themselves. But that's growth. That's growth. That's growth. And if you get those kids at the elementary and high school level, you got them maybe like McDonald's forever.
Yeah, get them especially invested early on.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. There could be some opportunity there.
And I was just thinking, if you're 501c3 and you have the charitable contributions and what have you, you're not suffering for money. Of course, you always need more money.
Yep.
But to expand your newsletter might be something that
Yeah. What we really need is a TikTok.
a TikTok.
TikTok. So there's Facebook, Instagram for social media. The new one, and I don't fully understand it yet, is TikTok. So it's short videos. So we've got to serve them up some short videos, and maybe we can get more young kids out to our events.
Well, I tell you this, I am so pleased that you took the time to come and visit us. Of course, you're on Nashua Access Television, Access Nashua Television, and I am so pleased you came and shared with us your dream and your love. This is in your heart. I mean, you couldn't leave surgical nursing and start growing plants, right? And making cartoons, but you've done it. I'm so pleased again. And I would like to volunteer. You do get volunteers.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have hundreds of volunteers each year.
Hundreds, so you don't need me.
No, we do. We need every volunteer we can get. So I'd love your help.
Okay. Well, you can use my name to volunteer. Can't walk and march anymore, but I could sit and help
Okay.
in the office maybe,
Yeah, appreciate it.
make phone calls. Well, Paul, thank you, and thank you, Nashua. Access Nashua is what we're looking at now, and hopefully we continue going a long time to help this city grow and become the shining city on the hill with our exceptional mayor, Jim Donches, and our exceptional leader of downtown funny stuff, attraction and appeal to shoppers that come downtown and shop. Thank you so much, Paul. Come back again, and thank you again.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Harvey.
Yeah.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.